Have you ever wondered why your narcissistic husband seems so obsessed with control in all of its forms? Not just the relationship, your friends who you hang out with, where you go, don't go to church too often because, blah, 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 whatever. Not just what you do, but he tries to control your thoughts and your choices and your self-worth. Let me tell you, that's not random. It's not accidental. This is something systematic happening in the relationship. And today I'm going to walk you through 7 specific ways a narcissist tries to control you. And when you recognize these tactics for what they truly are, now you're empowered to stop reacting to them and start responding from your own center of self-trust and self-sovereignty. But first, if you're new here or this topic is resonating with you, please click the like button and the subscribe button. That way you'll get more grounded, trauma-informed insights that help you think clearly, stay steady, and take your power back in your marriage. If you want deeper support and real community, the Detox Your Marriage School community, totally free, is the place for you. And if you're wanting to move ahead, why don't you book a 15-minute quick start call with us? Totally free, no strings attached. Now, let's get into it. The first tactic that narcissists use to control you is, it's gaslighting. I'm sure you've heard the term. That's convincing you that your experience, your memory, or your feelings are wrong or overblown. So you'll hear things like, that never happened, or you're imagining things. And a crowd favorite is, you're too sensitive. Can you hear that the goal in those things that you get from him, it's not debate. The goal is confusion. By making you doubt your own reality, he gains the psychological upper hand, psychological leverage, if you will. And absurdly, they become the authority on your experience. When I put it that way, isn't that absurd? See, they don't need you to agree with them. They just need you to question your perceptions. And because once you do that, well, you're well down the road of crazy making is what it is. Now, so that's gaslighting. Another tactic that maybe you've experienced, jot a note in the comments if you have, is when the narcissist twists every conversation into, their suffering. They play the victim to avoid accountability, to elicit sympathy, to put the spotlight on them, and to make you feel guilty for existing and having needs. This is a version of emotional manipulation where the message becomes, any discomfort you experience is your fault, but his discomfort is your responsibility. Totally unfair. So when someone constantly casts themselves as the victim, as the wounded party, you end up absorbing all responsibility to maintain the emotional equilibrium. And that's control by proxy. That's just toxic, bottom line. Number 3, third tactic is projection. Projection is assigning their thoughts, motives, or behaviors onto you. So, if they're lying, then he says that you're untrustworthy. If he's angry, then he'll accuse you of being too emotional. See how this works? If they're controlling, which almost certainly they are, you're labeled controlling. Have you been called controlling by him? If you have, jot a note in the comments and let me know. See, these shifts, these projections, it shifts the internal narrative so that defensiveness becomes about you having to do something to fix yourself instead of him taking accountability and ownership to address his own behavior. And of course, the more you give into that dynamic of defending yourself, the more data that they have to push against. See, it's a psychological smoke screen. It's not accountability. All right. And then there's the silent treatment and the withholding. This one feels punishing because it strikes really at your heart and soul. It strikes at your own desire, craving, need for connection. So withholding, it's giving the silent treatment. It might be stonewalling. It might be emotionally withdrawing. This is a classic method of coercive control. It communicates without words. You don't need words. He's not using words, but he's communicating in a strong and powerful way. I control access to your emotional safety. I have the power to make you emotionally unsafe. So silence becomes a weapon. And it's a dangerous weapon. It's a powerful weapon because human beings are wired for connection. That's factory wiring. And so when connection is unpredictably broken by him withdrawing or stonewalling or shutting down, inevitably your anxiety is going to spike and your brain defaults into survival mode. Oh no, I've been abandoned. So I want to be super clear. That response of yours isn't overreacting. It's your nervous system responding to a threat cue. And learning to notice this control tactic of his can be very powerful for you to take away its power. Another tactic that men use to control is hoovering, the attempt to suck you back in after you've pulled away, right? The Hoover vacuum cleaner. Suddenly there's you're witnessing from him remorse, promises to change, maybe nostalgia, kind of turning your attention back to the good old days, and flattery, affection, all that sort of stuff. But notice that it doesn't feel like genuine repair. If you are paying attention, you notice that he's pulling you, but you're not sensing it as being heartfelt, like he wants you. This hoovering works because intermittent patterns of affection generate intense longings and hope, especially if your nervous system has been conditioned to seek relief from stress using connect, which is again a human need. And so this flicker of warmth, or what we call you're getting crumbed or breadcrumbed, this flicker of warmth isn't love, it's actually bait. And when you step back and notice the pattern and give your nervous system a chance to settle before you decide to respond, then again, you're taking your power back. You're no longer reacting, you're responding. We hear about this next tactic very regularly in the women that we're helping flourish in their marriage, and that is this tactic of triangulation. Triangulation is a covert social tactic where the narcissist brings others into your conflicts, intentionally or indirectly. And it has the effect of destabilizing your standing and shifting the emotional landscape in his favor. So that can look like involving family in disputes. That's indiscreet sharing of narratives to friends, making your reactions the problem for others. Or, the classic is, I talked to your dad and he thinks that you should really get help. See, these moves are designed to isolate you, right? To separate you from the tribe and to make you seem unstable or unreasonable, and undermine the support that you're getting from your support network, so that you're emotionally more dependent on them. So this is control through social leverage, not just emotional pressure. So this is like another level. Okay, guilt and obligation. We need to talk about guilt. Narcissists are masters at weaponizing guilt and obligation. This can come in many forms. Have you ever heard, "After all I've done for you"? Or, "If you loved me, you would do XYZ." Or, "Think about what this means for the family or children." Let's face it, this is emotional blackmail, manipulating your sense of duty or compassion to get compliance. It's control dressed up as morality, but make no mistake, it's the intention is coercion. So, to be clear, recognizing these tactics doesn't make the pain go away, but it gives you clarity and language and stabilizes and helps you reclaim your grounding in your power. When you can name what's happening, then there's an opportunity to stop internalizing it, and you begin to respond from a calm nervous system rather than from guilt or fear or obligation. So if this video helped you get a clearer sense of reality and helped you feel steadier, I'd love for you to do a couple of things. Click the like, click the subscribe. That will help this message reach other women who need it. And why don't you join our free Detox Your Marriage School community, where hundreds of other women walking the same kind of walk are learning how to set boundaries that actually work, regulate their nervous system, and live with emotional integrity. Also, if you're ready to move forward in some way, or even just curious about what that would look like, why not schedule a 15-minute quick start call with us? That's a very, very short, brief, and focused conversation on your situation, and we'll walk you through, what help might look like. Also, if you feel comfortable, drop a comment. Which of these control tactics have you noticed in your own relationship? Your insight, your feedback in the comment section could be the light going on for somebody else that needs to see what's happening in their relationship. Hope to see you inside the Detox Your Marriage School community.